Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we are going to be taking a look at the most intellectual discourse that Twitter has ever seen. I mean, we've seen some absolute classics over the years, man, but I'm not gonna lie, I never thought we were going to get to a point where we are arguing about whether or not basically recommending people to eat frozen food, cereal, etc. is basically promoting patriarchy, it's promoting anti-disabledness, it's promoting basically just hatred towards these poor innocent folk who I guess are entitled to DoorDash every meal to their house. I don't know. So over the last couple days, the typical folk on Twitter, let's just say that the like 14 to 22 year olds who mostly grew up pretty wealthy, right? Mostly grew up pretty well off in nice households with both parents, try to pretend like, you know, their life is just the worst, bro. They were born in the first world. They were born with virtually every single modern amenity at their fingertips. In fact, they get to spend all day tweeting on Twitter about how horrible their life is and how horrible it is in places like America and how eating fast food is impossible for them and they are actually entitled to DoorDash steak every single night from their local restaurant or whatever. So I just want to point out, this all started because somebody suggested the mind-blowing concept, right, of eating frozen food. I know, right? That's just an insane concept. That's just a ridiculous fucking thought. If you guys didn't know, every frozen meal that is made today is actually infected and is tainted with this very, very small particle that most people don't know about, and it makes it impossible for Twitter terminally onliners to consume. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some of these just fucking classic 7,000 IQ takes when it comes to surrounding DoorDash. Now, before we get into this, right, I've used DoorDash for years. I've used delivery services. I use them pretty frequently. I'll just go say that too. I don't know what the frequency scale really is. I guess probably more than once a week is considered pretty heavily active usage, right? So, I mean, I've had like the groceries DoorDashed. I've obviously had food or pizza or whatever DoorDashed. So like I have a pretty good understanding, I feel like, of how it works, what exactly it's there for and whatnot, right? So why are people so weird about DoorDash? Because it is exploitation. The business model does not function without massively underpaying the workers, most of whom live in poverty. Habituating yourself to using DoorDash is a moral sickness. Alright, so that's not really the point we're going to be talking about here, but take a look at this fucking response. I just want to point out that as of the time of this getting screenshotted, 90 people were stupid enough to look at this and think that it made sense when it was typed. So, restaurant employees are never exploited, LOL, leave disabled people alone. People are trying to survive the best way they can, and you're relegating us to frozen dinners, as if everyone's diet can tolerate them, as if histamines and frozen food don't trigger autoimmune responses. So, okay, obviously this tweet to anyone with a brain is completely fucking idiotic, so let's go ahead and discuss why that's the case. So apparently disabled people use DoorDash. Now obviously that's probably the case for some of the users who are actually disabled, but I think the majority of us, myself as a DoorDash user included, can very confidently say the reason people DoorDash food is because they're too fucking lazy to go get it from McDonald's themselves. Let's just call it for what it is, right? If you live in a city or in like a massive urban area, you can usually walk or take the bus or whatever to McDonald's. If you live in a more rural area or like a car dependent area, you get in your car and you drive through the fucking drive-through, right? McDonald's has a place inside where you can sit down and eat. So it's not like this is the only way you can go get food outside of your house is for someone to drive it to your house for a $7 tip or whatever, right? So this has really nothing to do with disabled people because the vast majority of DoorDash users, myself included, I just don't want to drive 30 minutes round trip to go get a soggy fucking hamburger when honestly I got the money and the resources to pay an extra $8, right, to get it delivered to the house. So apparently people are trying to survive the best way they can and you're relegating them to frozen dinners. How dare you, man? You know that fucking meal that most of us grew up eating, right, our entire fucking lives? That's what you're relegating these poor horrifically underprivileged people to eating. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but you know, there's kids in America today, right, who they will not have access to any food whatsoever. They won't have a piece of bread. They won't have an orange. They won't have French fry, anything, right? But apparently the idea of these people eating a fucking $2 Stouffer's microwavable pasta dish is just, it's inconceivable. It's not possible. You can't really expect these people to eat one of the biggest modern marvels we've ever created, right? I mean, everyone's diet can't tolerate a Stouffer's lasagna because the histamines in frozen foods trigger autoimmune responses. So this person confidently said that, by the way. So if you look it up, right, technically it is true there's histamines in pretty much every food that you consume on the planet to a certain degree, but it's actually been shown that freezing food, like they do with all these frozen meals and whatnot, actually gets rid of these histamines way better and is more efficient in getting rid of them. So in reality, if you're trying to avoid that, this is actually one of your best options. So does anyone else think it's upsetting that food is currently considered a luxury item, that we're being told to just eat cereal and frozen dinners? I'm feeling a type of way about it. Yeah, I would feel a type of way about it too if I was a complete fucking moron and I didn't know what words meant. So apparently food is currently considered a luxury item. So the vast majority of people, like I live in the United States, I'm assuming most of these people do because like obviously most of the people that are this entitled and this privileged, right, they don't live in the middle of the fucking Congo or something, right, where things are significantly worse off. But apparently food is a luxury item, even though like 85-90% of the population on any given day is going to get 3 good meals. Like, these people don't know the definitions of the words that they use, or they just use them wildly over dramatically in an effort to try and like be as edgy or radical in the way that they speak as possible, which is just, it's stupid as fuck. I mean, you guys talk like 14-year-old girls about everything. It really shows your age most of the time. Like I said, most of these people are high schoolers or like college age people, but yeah, food is not a fucking luxury item, you know? When you think of think of Hermes or like Louis Vuitton or something like that, right? Let's say 1, maybe 2% of people on the planet have that. That's why it's considered a luxury item. A luxury item is not something that 9 out of every 10 people in your community have, right? So, but how dare you be told to eat cereal and frozen dinners like a normal fucking person? These people act like frozen meals and cereal and whatnot just have 0 nutrition value, right? Like there's nothing good about them at all. You're just eating fucking basically cancer at that point. And I mean, yeah, these foods aren't the best for you, but to pretend like they're just some sort of fucking disease-ridden, just lower than thou ass meal that you can't consume as an average everyday person, you need to fucking humble yourself a little bit in all reality, right? These people actually believe that they're above a bowl of Reese's Puffs, or that they're above a bowl of Stouffer's lasagna, or that they're above a bag of fucking pizza rolls. They really in their hearts think that they're better than that for whatever reason. I don't get it, but they hate disabled people so much they're out here defending frozen food, a meal format that gained mainstream popularity as white women entered the workforce, while at the same time it became harder to support a family on one salary, so not having to cook meant more time for doing capitalism. These people are so fucking perpetually miserable. It's really embarrassing for them. They think they're some sort of like revolutionary, right? And that they're exposing some grand capitalistic scheme that obviously doesn't really exist. I mean, everything that they've said here is just some overblown wild way of basically misconstruing reality here, but processed foods would have came along regardless if white women entered the workforce or not. Like these people who claim to be all about community and all about helping people, the common man, right? They're actually angry that we as a society invented an entire type of meal that not only is low cost, so virtually everyone can afford them, they're easy to make, you know, you just put it in a fucking microwave or an oven or whatever and let it cook for 20 minutes, and it actually be nutritionally valuable. Like these things, they do contain, you know, different things that you need, different nutrients, different vitamins, whatnot, right? They are mad that on a mass scale, we have discovered how to feed billions of people with high quality, easy to make and consume meals. They're actually fucking mad about that because apparently it's because white women entered the workforce and now people have more time for doing capitalism. So yes, to these people, literally everything in their life revolves around capitalism or somebody somehow ruining their life against them, right? Some oppressor. It's just so fucking pathetic. Like they almost don't realize, I think, that they are literally arguing about whether or not it's okay to just be fucking lazy and eat off DoorDash. You know what? No one really cares. You know what I mean? Like in the real world, if you go up to somebody and you're like, hey, I just want to let you know I DoorDash all the time, right? They're just going to be like, okay, I don't give a fuck. Or like at the very worst, they'll just go, why are you wasting your money? And then it's just like, well, it's my money, so who gives a fuck how I spend it? But to them, this kind of fucking rationale is just impossible. You can't think about it that way. You have to find some wild, wacky reason to justify it, you know? Oh, I'm actually disabled, you know? Disabled people shouldn't have to relegate themselves to a bowl of cereal and a frozen meal. DoorDash has, for many people, become a substitute for frozen meals, despite being less convenient and radically more expensive. And a lot of frozen meals taste fine. Plenty of chain restaurants are actually serving that. People have depression and anxiety. Not everyone can just go to the grocery store and plan meals like this. Supposedly a grown adult, by the way. It's not a planned meal. It's a meal you take out of the freezer. It is perfect for people who are not coping with their depression or anxiety. I wonder if we could build a system within a local community where we take shifts cooking the frozen food and sharing it. This might mitigate some of the distress it causes by being a recurring task. Just a thought. So I don't know if you guys have realized this or not yet by just dealing with any amount of these types of people. They are not actually grown adults, okay? If they are grown adults, they're not actually grown adults. A lot of the time, these people, you know, they grew up with parents who coddled them too much and did everything for them, and they learned no individuality. They learned not how to behave independently at all. And so you end up with idiots like this who are incapable of putting a frozen block of food into a microwave and pressing the 2-minute button and standing there for 2 minutes until the food gets hot. That is where we are as a society. That's where the education system, the families and whatnot of this country, that's what they have produced and raised, is a bunch of people who apparently have depression and anxiety so badly that they need a communal microwaving system to feed them frozen meals. Is it not fucking embarrassing being you guys, really? Like, is it not embarrassing at all? I don't like, oh, I got depression, I got anxiety. Yeah, okay, dude. Like, 1 in 5 Americans are dealing with a mental health crisis or illness or something of some sort. I have diagnosed post-traumatic stress disorder. I guess I should put my badge on and I should make a fucking excuse for every little thing in my life. Hey guys, I went through some shit in my past and I'm traumatized by it. You guys gotta cook all my microwavable meals for me now. What's next? Picking up a fucking scrubber and a sponge and a bottle of soap to clean the kitchen? Let me guess, that's racist now, right? That's a fucking racial, it's a systemic construct that is there to keep your lazy ass from cleaning the kitchen up, right? Like, I can't believe it, man. You know, I cannot believe that these people actually think the way that they do. Also, I haven't even mentioned this part, and this really just shuts down all these stupid fucking arguments that these dum-dums have. They keep saying, oh they want us to eat frozen meals. I can't believe it, dude. I need DoorDash. Why would I can't eat the frozen meals because of histamines, bro. Do you retards actually believe that, like, when you go get a fucking, I don't know, a cheeseburger or something from Burger King, or you go get a bowl of soup and salad and pasta from Olive Garden, or you go get a fucking well, they don't make beefy nacho loaded grillers anymore at Taco Bell, but you know, you go get a quesadilla at Taco Bell. Are you under the impression that this is all farm fresh, high quality food? And then it's not all just frozen fucking processed garbage? There's no way people are this stupid, right? You're telling me that you can't eat a frozen microwavable burrito because the histamines in it are too high. You have too much depression or anxiety to press microwave buttons. You have too much depression and anxiety to order the frozen food off of DoorDash and have it delivered to your house by a grocery service. You know, all these different things, right? You have all these different problems with frozen food, except for when it gets served out of a fucking multi-billion-dollar corporation's kitchen. let me go ahead and get that right. You know, all these anti-capitalists, these communists, right, who are incapable of microwaving a fucking frozen dinner because they're depressed, I guess. They have no problem giving 3 times the amount of money to a faceless billion-dollar corporation to deliver them frozen food with a corporate logo on it because they're actually above eating the frozen food at their house with a different logo on it. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. You guys are really fucking breaking the globe with this fucking, you know, just forward way of thinking. You guys have really done it. I don't know how, I don't know where you guys pieced all this together, but man, this is really it. The economics of groceries is what frustrates me. If I want a BLT, I must buy a whole loaf of bread, a pack of bacon, and a tomato, hoping my mayonnaise hasn't expired. I want a proportionally priced kit to make 1 to 2 sandwiches, as I end up throwing out so many leftover ingredients. All right, so I know anyone who actually lives on their own like me and has gone grocery shopping for themselves know this. You know, you do waste ingredients, right? You usually do not eat 100% of the shit that you bring home from the store. That's part of life. Honestly, I think it says a lot that I can live in a society and be privileged and blessed enough to where I am capable of having extra leftover food that I don't consume, right? I think that's a great thing, but apparently some people are so fucking stupid, right? They're so mentally unwired that the concept of checking the mayonnaise expiration date and seeing, I got a couple more weeks, that's too far for them, right? You know that big black label that they print on everything in this country to show you the fucking expiration date or like when it's no longer good by? Yeah, well, they're too disabled and too depressed to read that. You know, they can't check that out. I gotta buy a whole loaf of bread and a pack of bacon, which usually has like 6 to 8 strips in it. And golly gee, a whole tomato. What would I do if I had to spend 80 cents on a fucking tomato? Like, once again, these are people who vote. They are people who, they think you should take them seriously. They think their ideas and their way of living is the right way. They think they're the smart one and you're the dumb one. These people are so uppity and they act like they're such these intellectual and just lifelike superiors, right? Their way of living is better than yours. Their way of thinking is better than yours. But they're incapable of rationing a loaf of bread over a week and making multiple fucking sandwiches with the ingredients that they purchased. Like, how stupid are you people, actually? Like, these morons are, like, this guy here in particular is so stupid, he thinks that if he buys a loaf of bread and a pack of bacon and a tomato, right? Which, by the way, that's not all the ingredients that you need to make a BLT, so I'm gonna assume that this person doesn't cook literally at all, considering a level 1 starter dish in The Sims is something they can't even list the ingredients of. But, like, actually think about the fact that the concept of eating numerous sandwiches in the 3 weeks that it takes for that loaf of bread to expire, that's too far-fetched, you know? It's almost like if you bought the loaf of bread, a pack of bacon, your lettuce, your tomato, and a jar of peanut butter and jelly, you could have numerous types of sandwiches that last you way quicker, right? Like, you could finish your whole loaf of bread. These people simultaneously will say that they're disabled, they're discriminated against, their lives are so hard, and that they need a communal system to take care of them, but then will openly admit they aren't smart enough to ration bread, they're not smart enough to microwave a frozen meal to keep themselves from dying, and that they can't understand the concept of actually going to a grocery store themselves. Like, the same people who try to act intellectually superior to everybody else all the time, and like they make that their personality, cannot comprehend that there is no difference between fast food and frozen food. They are both frozen at the end of the day. If you go to McDonald's or anywhere while they're fucking restocking everything, they're not loading in fresh beef and fresh tomatoes. That shit is all frozen. But hey, man, if you ask them to make a fucking Michelinas or something in the goddamn microwave, bro, you're basically advocating for terrorism against the disabled at that point, man. So, I don't know. I just thought this whole thing was actually hilarious. These people are dead fucking serious, too. It's the most embarrassing thing possible for what are supposed to be grown adults to be this stupid and be this proud of being this stupid. But I mean, hey, this is where we are in the world today, man. So anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus. Well, literally just too lazy to go get Taco Bell today. and signing out. And that's a wrap on this video, but big shout out to my Optimus Nation supporters. You guys are the real MVPs. For $10 a month, you get access to loads of exclusive videos and archived live streams, my members-only Minecraft server where you can possibly appear in gameplay, early access to all new uploads, an invitation to the private Discord, and much more.